down. It's up in there, and it's there and back and everything like that, but we'll see if that does have any kind of effect as we are jumping into picks and bans for Game 1 of this best of 5 in the LPL 2021 Spring Playoffs. RA going to be on the blue side, banning away the Udyr, which you just mentioned, the Thresh, and the Kalista.
So it's interesting to see the Thresh banned away by RA. We generally see that on red side, but actually IG has been one of the teams that are happy to leave this pick open. They'll take Nautilus, they'll take the Varus into it, and generally, when the Thresh is paired with some kind of a mobile carry like the Jinx or the Aphelios, they'll happily just all in at level 6 with this Varus Nautilus combo. So RA having to respect that, they will be the ones that ban away the Thresh, not giving that across to IG.
See what they want to go for. A lot of power picks still available. I was going to mention the Lucian, something that can just be flexed to mid, top, hell. Even if you really wanted to, you could put it down to the 80 carry roll. But that is going to be locked and loaded for RA. But now, the Renekton, something that we have seen IG either ban away consistently or get banned against them, has been picked up, and they go with the Nilly for Shun.
Now, this is really strong for IG. Yes, Renekton did get some nerfs coming into 11.6, but still really strong in the hands of the Shy. He is super good on this champion, and especially when we've just highlighted how much they like to play around this top side of the map, you've got that Renekton Italy combo. So expect Shun to path from that bottom side in the early stages to try and get that level 3 dive off for the Shy on the top side of the map. And especially when Cube has opted in towards this Ornn, he is very vulnerable to this play in the early stages.
See there, locked a load, going for the Ornn, going to try and get Cube onto something weak side. We kind of anticipated this one coming out. It's exactly what they did in their kind of 2-0 victory over IG, and you can see the Scion or anything like that. That's what they kind of tend to lean towards, and Ornn does a relatively similar thing.
Yeah, and I think that was the big one here. We're like, look, if you pick a tank and you fall behind, 20 CS, doesn't really matter, and that was what they opted into for Cube in Game 1 against Invictus Gaming. Now, though, on the opposite side, there's what we're talking about for Rookie. More opening up the map, getting these roams off, and having that realm warp means we'll see Rookie getting those big impacts in the side lane. So, at least for me, if I'm Cube, I'm scared, man. I'm looking at all this attention that can come topside. I'm like, look, Leanne, I'll buy you dinner. I'll buy you flowers. Whatever it needs, just help me topside.
I agree with you. That's exactly what he's going to be saying. But I'm looking at this Lucian-Lilia combination. If you can get on top of the rise, like, Rookie's got to be on point. He's got to make sure that he is not being flanked. He's not being caught out. Because as soon as they jump on him, the burst and the pure damage that can come out on top of him, without flash, he's dead. There is no other solution.
Yeah, the good news, at least for Rookie, is that you're kind of waiting for the level 6, right? Because Leanne, with the Lilia, yes, you can get some slows off, but it's not going to be the most impactful gank. So you've bought a little bit of time as Rookie. So for IG, I think their most optimal time to make these plays happen will be in that level 1 to 4, where they can try and get some control. Otherwise, RA, especially with the double 80 carry that I imagine that is going to be coming in for RA, and you've got the Olaf, you have this great late game scaling coming in now. So you can already see IG identifying this. Jinx taken off the board. There's the Varus gone on the opposite side as well. But I'm going to be looking for stuff like still Trist is off the board. Maybe the Kai'Sa still here could go towards IG, but that does open you up towards the Xayah pick on the opposite side, which would give a really strong bot lane to iBoy and Hung.
So what IG want to go for, of course, like you said, very kind of noticeable weak point in that bot side. The Xayah gives you an awful lot of safety if you do want to go for it, but they could just go straight away for the Senna, maybe even a Senna-Tahm Kench kind of combination.
It does leave a lot of safety here for the bottom side of the map, and of course you can see that support build, so we can opt in towards another tank in this bottom lane, so IG can have a little bit of leeway here for Lucas. Also still, especially as you can see with the Rel in that band away, Alistair band away, the only real tank and engage supports that we could still potentially see something like a Leona, but I have a feeling we won't be getting that this time for IG.
See what they want to go for here for RA. They are going to lock in the Ezreal, something that has kind of found himself a little bit more in the meta.
So this is... Oh, no, not the Yuumi.
No,
okay,
right, don't talk about hovers. Don't talk about hovers.
What I was going to say is I really like this from iBoy, because basically what they're doing is they're going, right, honestly, Cube, we know how much pressure is going to happen. We know what the obvious game plan is for IG. So we're going to take this Ezreal. You farm it up. You're not going to be in any trouble against this Senna. We're going to go with the Bard, this heavy roam support that can make beautiful plays towards this top lane, help out towards Fofo in the mid lane, and try and control the game pace against IG.
Yeah, honestly, the Bard looks really, really well with what they want to kind of be doing, roaming around, putting the Lucian behind enemy lines, maybe even going to try and take on an overextended the Shy up on that top side. And you can see the Leona that you mentioned, not quite going to be the Tahm Kench, but that is a little bit of extra engage here for IG.
Yeah, I think they really needed this, especially when you're looking towards, like, okay, Renekton can kind of engage, but you certainly want a secondary engage tool there. And now when you're looking at these two comps, we can see, look, heavy play around that top side, a lot of dive and a lot of early game momentum for IG, where they can unlock Rookie from the mid, but still decent late game scaling when it looks towards the Senna and also the side lane control that can come through from Rookie on the rise.
All right, well, we got ourselves the two locked compositions, and honestly, I feel like both sides kind of got what they wanted. For RA, you're going to be able to create those mismatches in the kind of skirmishes that we talked about, as well as the big impact with the Call of the Forge God or even the Lilting Lullaby.
And you're not even touching on the Bard, right? Because it makes it really hard when you're playing these team fights as IG. If you've got, like, Senna, doesn't really get away from that Bard ult very easily. You look towards Rookie as well, he's kind of stuck in no man's land. So honestly, the biggest way that I see RA winning this out is, right, we're just going to team fight you at these dragons. We're going to wait until that third, fourth one will come in. We're going to CC up your back line with the Bard, with the Ornn. We're going to beat down your front line that just isn't as tanky as ours. And we're going to let this mid-game spike in the Ezreal carry us through to just wipe the floor with you. For
IG, if you can get past that kind of early game hump, if you can get that Senna stacking up, if you can get the Rise to that late game, that is an absurd amount of just damage you're going to be able to throw out. We will mention, obviously, the Renekton nerf that came in as late game, not as tanky, did lose a lot of HP on it as we go into jump into the game for game one of this playoffs. A medley at the end there. It was just a lot of different people being like, you know what, it's whatever we want it to be as such. But the Jayo is there. Of course, we got our live crowd. Always fantastic to have it. Always love feeling the energy, if you will, when the live crowd is there. But looking down kind of the runes, nothing really too untoward there that we're not going to be saying, you know, too much. Actually, we did see the electrocute there from Shun, so going for a little bit more early game presence when he goes for those ganks.
Yeah, and I think that's the big one here for Shun, is trying to get this big dive off, as we talked about from the Shy. Like, so honestly, whenever we see IG, Shun always starts bot side. He always passes towards the top side. So this does actually give a lot of information to Lian, because you're like, look, we know exactly where Shun is going to be pathing. And when you look towards already Lian starting on this bottom side of the map as well, he'll be able to match toe-to-toe going towards this play on the top side. The bigger question for me is who gets control of this mid lane, because if you end up in a situation where Fofo can start to roam up, or at least push in super heavily, like right now, and get control, it means that then you can't go for this play with Rookie towards the top side.
Yeah, it also means, of course, that you're looking at it from a, yes, you have vision of Lian going for all this different stuff. Yes, you know he's doing it, but there's not really a huge amount you can do against it. You just kind of have to let it go, give up those Raptors, and back yourself away. And I'm curious to know exactly, you know, where do we really see the big explosion, if you will? Where do we see the first kind of, play, if you will, or set play coming out from either of these teams?
Well, it looks like it's going to be mid here. Shun has snuck his way in behind Fofo.
Yeah, level 3, still waiting, maybe just waiting for the Relentless Pursuit to be used. Shun just keeping himself into the fog of war. They don't know exactly where he is. And there we go, flash forward, does not get the root down, does not hit the spear, and that is going to be an easy escape. Rookie, no flash, that's dangerous territory for the Rise.
Yeah, really early flash coming through from Rookie. I honestly thought he was going to try and get the E to bounce through the minions on towards Fofo, then look for the flash root, but not getting that means that Fofo just Relentless Pursuits away. He's totally fine. Will TP back towards the lane, trying to keep himself safe, but already that's a big win for RA. Not only the play mid, but shutting down the Shy's crash on top side and not able to make that level 3 dive.
Also, look at the jungle. He's 2 camps ahead right now. He's got himself a decent kind of buffer, if you will, and actually forced the Shy, like you said, to kind of lose that dominance up on the top side to get him back into, to kind of get himself a scuttle. as Rookie does TP back into the mid lane. And this is where we're kind of seeing now how Rookie can kind of deal with this pressure, because without a flash, Fofo could just relentless pursuit. He knows there's no flash, so if he really feels that he can flash forward as well. And that could just be a huge burst of damage when he combos it with Leanne's Lilia.
See though, Ore still hovering around this bot side. Like, this is the lane that I'm kind of looking at for Ore if they can get that big advantage. And I think as well, like, one of the things we got to look at is, of course, the with Wink going on towards the Senna, did receive some nerfs back in 11.5, so which is why we haven't actually seen the Glacial Augment come out as much. There was a build that started to opt up in Korea and a little bit in the LPL, which was going for Grasp of the Undying, and you actually look towards the Frostfire Gauntlet build instead, and you become this mega tank, but still opting for the Glacial Augment here. And although the reason Glacial Augment was taken is to synergize so well with the Senna passive, where you can get 2 auto attacks off very quickly using that slow, stack up the, or at least pull the mist out of your opponent. It doesn't synchronize up as well with the cooldowns on the 2 spells, but certainly still very useful when you do get in towards those later game fights to provide all those slows and still allow you to get some of this harass off.
You can see there just how much more dominating Renekton is to Ornn. He's just able to crash the wave consistently. I like what the Shy is doing here. He's just popping down a ward every single time and kind of goes, you know what? If you're on either of these 2 camps, I'll probably know who you are. I probably know where you are, and I probably know where to be able to kind of set you up, as we can see there. Leanne just finding the big old crocodilian in the river as Shun is there. They should be able to get him out, no problem at all, but you can see they're trying to make something work, but it's actually a little bit of a different kind of style this time. It's actually the Shy roaming down rather than Rookie roaming up. Yeah,
which is really different, but I love that Ore are reading this, right? Because you can see Hung had already moved towards that mid lane. He used a quicker reset on bot side to make sure he was here for any sort of funky plays. So the second the Shy is missing and IG are trying to make these plays around top side, Ore are reading it perfectly.
Well, Lucas is the first to roam and gets himself up towards that top side. You can see the Bard yet to kind of move away. Shun very deep. It might be in a lot of trouble. They do not get the knock up, which means that Shun's able to flash away. The Culling comes out. The flash forward, double flash. Oh, nicely done. Leanne doesn't even get it quite on the Q, but it does not matter. Now we can see Rookie with no flash has to use that phase rush, trying to get himself out, but the piercing light is enough to double tap him out. 2 kills to RA.
Double kill set up beautifully by Ore. Even though they don't get that knock-up onto Shun, the follow-up with the flashes, also having Hung in the perfect position to follow up. Gorgeous stuff from Ore to counteract everything IG are trying to do.
And again, it comes back to kind of little small things like Rookie not having his flash, Rookie not being able to kind of roam in, and Shun just being far too aggressive, far too far forward, just not realizing the Ornn had roamed.
Yeah, especially when you're looking at topside, right? I mean, the Shy has that wave under his tower. He's not going to be able to move at all. And it should have been, hey, hang on a second, where the hell is this Ornn? Instead, you end up Shun going in way too aggressive, doesn't have Rookie there for support either, and the rest of Ore are able to show up and beat them back.
What can Lucas do, really? He's just kind of standing there kind of going like, I was here, but I stopped the Bard. That was about as good as I could get it, really. And now 2 kills down, 1,000 gold up. RA starting to feel a little bit better, but now this is the roams you were talking about as they jump in towards the top side with that Realm Warp. They jump straight down on top of them. Shun picks up a kill. These are the kind of proactive plays you wanted to see.
I really did, and I'm glad that we're getting them from IG. It's just unfortunate that 2 kills have already gone across to Rare Adam. And now, with the timing as well, like, you're at 7 minutes. You haven't got the kill onto Cube in time for trying to get the Rift Herald. You're not really going to be able to snowball this into any other objectives, and you can see Leanne, he's trying to steal away the entire bot side here.
Well, looks like the bot lane of IG just trying to be as a nuisance as possible. They will get the stun down, and there is the spear straight through the heart of Leanne. And actually, Lucas went a little bit too far on that magical journey. Did not like the trip he went on and ended up backing himself away. But another quick kill, and this is Leanne not really respecting the kind of CC train that can come out from this bot lane.
Or the resets coming in from IG. And this has been one of my biggest criticisms of Ore is just the lack of depth to their vision control. They place a hell of a ton of wards, they just don't place them very deep. So you can see there, they're not ready for the resets, they're not ready for Lucas and Wink to be coming across. Lane gets caught out, buys a huge amount of time towards Shun, and now with this push on bottom side as well, IG might be able to look towards the Rift Herald, but as I say that, Hung has already moved his way up towards this top lane. They're going to be looking for picks.
Oh, that is exactly what you want to see. Fofo gets taken down. That's the combination you have to be aware of. The Rune Prison into the Javelin. So much damage.
And now Hung might be in trouble.
Now he's got himself a magical journey. Should be able to get out. As I say that, though, Shun is jumping in on top of him. They have the Senna Dawning Shadows forces the flash out of the Bard, and it looks like RA, they're starting to fall apart after a great start.
And IG are waking up, and this is where IG get terrifying. Look at where they're moving now. Rift Herald picked up, Lucas already on his way across, and this is where they can start to get those towers in their favor. And when they do, this is where they start to bully their way into the opponent's jungle, forcing them out of position, and then amplifying the pick and skirmish potential that IG have.
Yeah, Leanne has got his, Predator popped, and of course he's got himself the Lilting Lullaby, but he's not really in a position to kind of jump in and, all gun-ho get themselves set up, because they just lost Fofo. He's only just coming back into the lane. They hadn't really got a health bar onto the Bard, so honestly, this is fantastic if you're an IG fan. They've got themselves back in. It's actually been about 1,500 gold shift in their favor, and that's we mentioned it in Champs, like very, very scary. You get to late game with a Ryze and a Senna, there's just so little you can do against that.
And I also like the adaptation we're seeing from the Shy. So obviously, we saw Dominus not coming into great effect, or getting nerfed at 11.6. So instead of going towards Gourd Drinker and trying to play around his health bar, he's actually going to go towards Stride Breaker. So he's acting as this secondary engage tool to work alongside Lucas and try and catch out the likes of Leanne, keep him trapped in place, Fofo as well. Like, these are the two carries that IG are going to try and position on top of. Because honestly, iBoy's too slippery. You're not going to hold back this Cleanse, Flash, Arcane Shifting Ezreal. You need to look elsewhere.
Out of all the games that IG played during the regular split, out of 67% of them, Nidalee was banned. We're seeing why. Nidalee banned against IG because Shun knows how to play this champion, who started off very, very strong on it at the start of the split. People kind of copped onto it and they said, right, you're not getting this pick anymore. He fell down a little bit in priority, but now they've kind of forgotten. This pick is really doing wonders for them.
Yeah, and as he said, it was his pick coming across from the LDL. Everyone was like, Shun is a monster. And why we saw that respect given towards his Nidalee. Now, the Lilia didn't work out as hot for him. I know he's like a 37% win rate on the Lilia, but this AP jungler for Shun is huge, and being able to work in conjunction with Rookie, with the CC, the Shy with CC, hell, even the bottom lane, Lucas with CC, gives them so much momentum, and you can already see Lucas once again grouping up with Shun.
Well, they do land the Tempered Fate, and they are going to get the stun off as well, despite the flash, but now they get the flash out of Fofo. There is the Solar Flare straight down. Lilting Lullaby doesn't do a hell of a lot, and Fofo can't get anything else with his.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wanting Lullaby at that stage. Rookie had already moved back. You've no real follow-up, and they tried to combo this with the stun coming in from the Bard, but that great flash saves Rookie. And again, IG, they're moving around the map. Pick mid, hey, let's go towards that next objective, and this one is going to be that dragon.
We always say the difference between a good team and a great team is that when you get a small little advantage, like a pick, like a kill, can you turn it into an objective? And right now, you can see there twice, they were able to get the Rift Herald and into the dragon.
And this is gorgeous. So you do get the stun from Hung, really good job, but the problem was Leanne had already tossed that Swirl Seed in the wrong place. So now you're waiting for follow-up damage from the Lilia to CC the Ryze, and RA just have to overextend that bit too far to make it work. Now, you're talking about small advantages? I'm looking at the 4 kills Shun has picked up on this Nidalee. Night Harvester already completed, way ahead of all of his laners, and he's still got that Rift Herald in his back pocket as well. So look at where IG are going to place it, because you do have some damage on that mid lane turret, but certainly the Shy has been making a lot of headway on this top lane structure, and when they've already roamed Lucas up, I don't see a reason why they don't just hard force this on the top side of the map.
Well, they have got the Rift Herald, so they might just do that exactly as you say, drop the Rift Herald, get a lot more gold into the Shy, and like we mentioned, bit of a nerf onto the Dominus, did lose about 200 HP towards those mid to later games fights, so you're not as tanky, and they are going to get full plate damage going over. But while this has all been happening towards the top side of the map, iBoy has silently and slowly just been picking up plates, CS advantages, and kind of getting himself to a point where this Ezreal is on a nice power curve.
I liked how IG are playing this though, right? They've moved Wink already towards that mid lane. So as you say, iBoy is getting that pressure on bot side, but RA aren't able to force Wink to stop any... Oh, hang on. Where are we off to here?
Hello everybody, Cube flashes, gets away from the Solar Flare, and you can see IG, they want nothing to do with bot lane. It's all top lane all the time, and they're going to hard force it if they can.
It does mean though that RA are getting a little bit of time on this mid lane turret, so not only are you getting iBoy with some gold bot, Fofo also getting some gold mid. Now, mind you, not 2 towers worth of gold, which IG did manage to pick up, but now we need to see these resets coming through. We need to see what IG are going to do to power this home. In 3 minutes until this dragon, they can start to get some visual control on this bottom side if they would like to, but certainly I think, as you can see now, with Rookie off in the side lane, they're looking to abuse the range matchup that Rookie has, allow him to play this push and then teleport in with the Realm Warp style of play.
Well, iBoy picking up every single plate in that bot side does give him a nice injection of gold. He's going to be a happy chappy as he drops all the way back into his lane, gets himself another bit of a reset, see if he can buy anything else. Might even have the Mana Mune if he's actually looking for it. Nope, goes with the Boots of Lucidity. Almost has both, if I'm looking at that correctly. And yeah, again, we see the Gale Force coming out as well for Fofo. A couple of key kind of mythic items being picked up for everyone across the board.
So it's actually interesting to see the Senna item here, because when we were talking about like some of the changes that have come through, Senna did get a nerf to her passive on 11.5, I believe it was. But essentially the way it works is, oh, hang on, I'm going to hold on.
See there, flash in, Hong has been caught. Magical Journey is not going to take you anywhere, my friend. Another quick kill, 2,000 gold. IG, they're starting to ramp up the gears.
Definitely, and look, as I was about to say, like, without the... No, Senna's going to be fine here, but certainly Wink, I think, is doing a great job here. The Gale Force is really strange, though, because honestly, we've seen Kraken Slayer be the predominant one, but just because you get so much damage off of the souls that you're able to pick up. Kraken Slayer has a 45% bonus AD ratio. You know what those souls are? Bonus AD! So it works really well. Now, you get the same on the damage that comes out from Gale Force. It's just you're not able to apply it as consistently. So I actually think it's more of a pick here for Wing to be like, right, I need to keep myself safe from that Bard, the Tempered Fate we were talking about in these team fights, being able to maneuver and having a little bit more flexibility with where I'm positioning in team fights.
See now where either side wants to go. You've got yourself a bit of a power spike here with Fofo being able to pick up that Gale Force. So if you're able to catch someone, they will be deleted. But there's just as much opportunity for that on the opposite side. We flash in, not quite able to catch out iBoy. But they're going to get themselves again.
This is what we're talking about. You don't want to be going for iBoy. He's far too slippery. Like, even if you connect there, he's got the cleanse, he's got flash, he's got the moves, he's going to back on out of there. Instead, you need to be looking towards Leyan and Fofo. The Shy is fully visible to everyone on RA.
He is, but they take a Magical Journey. I don't know if you really want to be going for that one. There's the Dawning Shadows as well. Good Tempered Fate to stop the Cavalry from jumping in on top of it. The Ornhorn across, and the Shy is down. Rookie has to flash over to the backside of the wall, and what looked like IG might have been able to make something happen turned out to be a nice opportunistic moment for RA.
And this is perfect for RA, because you've got both the Dragon in 20 seconds, you've got that Rift Herald up as well. They can look to put some pressure on this mid and fall back to whatever objective they want. Right now it is looking like that Dragon, but they do have to be aware the Shy, teleport available in 10 seconds. IG can still contest this.
Might go for it. Wink did go back to try and replenish his mana as he's trying to set up. It looks like IG do not want to fight this one. I kind of agree with this call as they don't really have the vision to go for it, or maybe they're just a little bit too little too late to try and get anything there. Everyone gets out on the backside with a Magical Journey. RA are happy with their win.
I think IG can turn this into a Rift Herald, though, shove in mid, move all their pieces across towards this top side of the map, and certainly start to play around where that weakened spot on the map is for RA. You've got that vision control. They can start to set up on that top side jungle. This is unfortunate for the Shy. Like, it was a good call, but Cube did a really good job of spotting him out in the jungle, and just not enough survivability. Like, as you were talking about, like, Dominus not having as much health, certainly hurting the Shy here in this team fight.
Definitely not what you want to be seeing there, and actually has had a pretty muted first kind of game. He is about 30 CS up, to be expected when we come into the Ornn versus Renekton matchup, but this is where he starts to fall down just a little bit.
Well, this is the thing about the Shy, right? He's kind of the duality of IG. He's like, looks great. He's got like 3rd highest solo kills, 2nd highest damage per minute, 2nd highest team damage percent of any top laner in the league, and 1st highest CSD of 15, right? But there's always the yeah, but with the Shy. Because even though he looks great, there's like, yeah, but he's also got the 2nd most deaths in the league. He's also got the highest deaths at 15 in the league. So even though we sometimes see him do great and get these massive advantages, there's the yeah, but.
There is always a but, and you don't really want to be kind of coming into it with that kind of mentality, but you have to, especially with the way IG have been playing this season. It kind of, as you said, has been a bit topsy-turvy, has been a up and down, as you say, as we start to move now, kind of rallying a little bit more towards the 18 minute mark, coming up towards those mid-game. Dragon apiece. We can look at the gold. It's about a little under 2,000 gold in favor of IG. So they still have an advantage, and they're still stacking towards that late game.
And the best way for them to try and turn this into a bigger advantage is, of course, that Rift Herald that's in Shun's pocket. They're going to try and crack open this mid lane turret, and this is where IG get really scary, because you can see the Shy. He's working away on bot side. someone needs to go and test his push. Otherwise, IG would just take that bot lane tower, move the Shy in behind this mid lane turret with the Rift Herald, and make it impossible for RA to defend.
Where and when do you want to take your fight right now? For IG, they're just going to push in his bot side, get the Shy this turret. It's pretty much going to be answered on top side by Fofo. He's got that Sheen right now, but they have got the Rift Herald to be able to put down pressure into this mid lane. So this is kind of the swap, if you will, when you go for the Dragon versus the Rift Herald, but a really nice Tempered Fate does stop the full charge. I completely forgot about that interaction. It's been so long. It will not stop the tower from going down, but we like a cheeky little effort.
Hey, look, it's a 2-for-1 deal for IG. You get bot, you get mid. You will lose top to Fofo, but honestly, I think you're pretty happy because for IG, this is where, again, they can start to play what's their best game plan. Getting into the opponent's jungle, controlling vision, looking for picks, finding these skirmishes where IG are able to mount an offense way faster than their opponents. So we look to see off these resets the amount of control wards that IG pick up. They're actually the team with the second highest control wards out of the entire league, and it's moments like this which is why they have that stat. Denying vision, playing their style of game.
Well, the Frostfire Gauntlets been finished up by Cube. As we see the Liandry's and the Verdant Barrier for the Lilia. Lian very afraid of a Ryze Nidalee combination.
Yeah.
He did receive a little bit of a nerf in 11.6 alongside the Seeker's Arm Guard, so you're not getting as much protection from those particular mage items.
I'm just hovering for 1 second because I was looking at where everyone on RA was positioned. Certainly the opportunity for some shenanigans to happen on IG side. But look, I think here's where we're going to start to see that slow push, right? You're going to have the wave pushed in by Rookie on the top side. IG have already started to group. They're trying to deny vision here and get that deep vision into RA's jungle.
See now, minute till the dragon spawns. This is going to be a Cloud Soul, so not the greatest of souls in terms of combat. But both sides will want to go, and importantly, you've got 2 items now onto your Lucian. He's picked up the Essence Reaver, so he's at a very, very powerful spike.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, you still have to be careful here, Zore. Like, if you go towards this dragon, Cloud Dragon going across isn't the end of the world for IG, but they can set up shop even at this Baron. So right now, RA trying to force down this tower.
Well, they get a hell of a lot of damage onto Cube. There is the Dawning Shadow, as we saw the ultimate from Bard as well, the Tempered Fate being chucked out just to try and catch somebody else out, but now they haven't got those ultimates for this dragon fight.
That's what I was going to say, that's the big one here, and you can just heal up as IG as well. Boy, Arcane shifts over the wall to deny the stun from the Shy, but Teleport coming back in from Cube. This is where you need to keep your eye on that Call of the Forge God.
Couple of big teamfight ultimates not available. Still waiting to see if the Solar Flare will be used. You've got a fair bit of sustain here with the Nidalee. Is running out of mana though, so can't really take a big fight, as we can see Q getting jumped on by the Shy. Lucas takes a Q to the face, and he takes about a 1/6 of his health bar down. And this is kind of a little mini poke war between the Nidalee and the Ezreal right now.
Yeah, but the big thing is, as you said, like Nidalee, Senna healing. So IG, I mean, even if this poke lands, it's not going to stick around for too long. But here we go, Q.
There we go. There's the Call of the Forge God, but they jump straight down on top of Lian, who is deleted. Nowhere for him to go. The Solar Flare down on the backside stops Hong and Fofo. Fofo has to flash away if he can try and get over the wall. Excuse me, he didn't use his flash. He just dashed away, as we can see the rest of the fight happening. But the poke is strong. The poke is potent from the side of RA. They're not quite out of this one just yet, but they do lose one.
But that's the thing, RA. They're still providing that front line. They still have Cube relatively healthy. The Shy has teleported back in towards this fight, though. There's the Realm Warp.
The Realm Warp is going to be used onto the backside. They will lose the Dragon, but can they gain anything else off of this? Bard has fallen, so you've lost 2 for the Dragon. Can everybody else get out? The Shy is hungry for blood. He is hunting down this top laner. He is going to show Lane Kingdom, even if it's the last thing he does. And now, iBoy, you're caught between a rock and a hard place. The rest of IG are here, and Wink will pick up that kill. Yes, you lose the Dragon, but you gained all the kills.
And now you've got 30 to 40 seconds before the top laner and the AD carry from RA around. Fofo, you need to be careful, buddy. The Shy eyeing you up deliciously, but will back away there. Now IG, they can shove in and turn towards Baron.
Yep, they've got a TP onto Rookie. Lian is there. They know he's there now as he tries to jump in. That's a hell of a lot of damage onto Sean. But he can heal it up. He'll be fine as long as he can just keep away from the, kind of the poke that's being thrown out on top of him. And this should be the Baron, unless RA want to try and contest.
I mean, you don't have TP on Cube. You don't have iBoy who's able to contest either. Sure, you can get that ult maybe for the steal.
Here we go. There's the Tempered Fate into the culling. Lucas going to pretty much tank that entire thing up. And with the Senna there on the backside, he's totally fine to keep going. The Baron down to about 2,000 HP. Flashing onto Fofo, who has to cleanse away as he's just trying to run away now from the Shy. Baron goes to IG. They are firmly in the driver's seat. They just need to get everybody out.
Yeah, it's mission escape right now. IG will manage to get away onto this top side, so phenomenal job from IG. They get the picks towards that dragon, and now they've turned it in towards a Baron for themselves.
Wasn't the cleanse, it was the Mikhails there from the Bard that was used. Just in case I was looking at it, it was the Fatty out of QSS, but nonetheless. But 5-1 and 3 now for this Nidalee. You've got the Baron buff at your feet. You can split in the 1-3-1.
And I love this fight from IG as well, because look, Cube does get a big engage here onto the back line, but the Shy is causing so much chaos in this backside for Ore. Rookie as well, getting so much damage off on this rise. It's nigh on impossible for Ore to follow up on what was a gorgeous engage from Cube. Then again, reset time, right? Take a step back. We can heal. We can have the Shy TP in and close out that fight. And now with that gold they picked up, look at the items, especially for Senna. Just finished that Gwynsu's Rage Blade. You're looking towards Rookie with the Void Staff, crucially for trying to get through this big L front line of Cube, for the Verdant Barrier that's existing there for Lian as well. Like, these are key items that are going to make big differences in these fights.
We talked about momentum coming into this series as iBoy has to flash Lucas almost with the predict, but Hong has been caught by the Shy. They're not going to get the Dawning Shadow down to finish off that kill, but they have to back away from this tier 2. The Shy and the rest of IG are just too scary.
That was so well played by Lucas, though, getting the flash. Now, iBoy, he's got to play it safe. Arcane shifts away. But again, this is what we talked about with IG. They get this advantage, they deny vision in the jungle, and they will look to find these picks, find these quick skirmishes, and with that Baron in tow, they're getting the towers on top of it.
So much going right for IG right now, and like we mentioned it many, many times, but a Rise, a Senna, the longer this game goes on, the more dangerous you become, the more frustrating you become to play against, because you can just heal up so much of the poke that comes out from this Ezreal. You can stop and deny so much of the move forward here from Lian and even Fofo as they want to try and finish off those kills. So for RA, they have to find an opportunity, and where do they get it? That's the question.
I mean, yeah, you've got these dragons that are stacking for Ore, but a Cloud Dragon isn't the end of the world, and it becomes really hard to deal with the side lane pressure Rookie can provide, Wink can do, as well as you can see him backing up Rookie here on the spot side. But honestly, I think as this game goes on, it gets harder for Ore to deal with the side lane pressure IG have in control. They need to find some sort of big fight at a following Baron or, you know, a Dragon, but it's not looking likely IG are just going to give that to them.
IG in control for now. Got themselves a 6,000 gold lead, 9 kills to 3, 6 towers to 3. And they're now knocking on the inhibitor doors. You can see them putting down the damage here onto Cube. Not quite being melted. There is the Tempered Fate, not really going to hit anything. Neither is the Culling. And everyone else is backing away. You've lost kind of your engage ult, to be honest with you. You have to use the True Shot Barrage just to make sure that the rest of the tower does not fall. And IG, they're kind of gaining everything without using anything.
They do get a lot out, and I mean, look, alright, they cleared the wave, they denied the pressure here from IG, and that is a big win for them, so they're pretty happy with that. It was just as Baron fell off, so IG were trying to use the last few ticks. I think the interesting thing, though, here is, as I was about to talk about the CS, thank you very much, but I think for Wink's like nearly 100 CS behind his lane opponent here. iBoy is actually farming up a Storm, whereas Wink hasn't had that same opportunity on this Senna. It's been much more about facilitating Rookie, putting that money in towards the Shy as well, and it'll need to pay dividends, or else, honestly, you're looking at an already weakened Senna who had to go for the Gale Force, weakened by her lack of souls, and also then weakened by the lack of gold she has in her pocket.
Having casted Senna for a very long time, she's not someone who I feel has such a detriment to not having the gold in her back pocket. Those souls give a hell of a lot more than they probably should have, or should, excuse me, as we now see Realm Warp going to be used here by a Rookie. Get himself out, says hello to his bot laner, and off his merry way. Okay, so we got a minute and a half right until this Baron. So let's start to look at how both these teams can set up. Because for right now, I feel like Ore, the goal has to be to get vision control in this bot side jungle. If you are able to make sure you can spot out where IG are, you're going to be
perfect, sorry, topside jungle, but we're going to be perfectly safe to move in, have your beefy frontliner there in Cube, try and pop someone with that Tempered Fate with Hung, and get control of this Baron area. However, IG, they've actually gone for the early reset, which I really like here. Because what they're trying to do is say, hey, alright, you can place all this vision down, but we're going to move in as a unit here the second you back away and look to take over this area once more.
For IG, they need to be very aware. They can't just let this Baron go down. You have a Lilia, double AD carry in the Lucian, the Ezreal. It would be melted so quickly by RA if they're given 20, 30 seconds on it.
Yeah, and you can see with 3 items, as you said, completed. The Mythic finally in there for iBoy. The Duskblade 2 becomes really nice, but Lian!
Oh, Lian gets caught. No Zhonya's for you. The Solar Flare means iBoy has to use the Mikhails there from the Bard as the rest of the fight ensues. Lucas is very low. Will he be able to stay alive? He should just be dropped there by Cube, but Cube not really in a position, has to flash away over the back end of the fight. And that is going to be a 1-for-1, but you got the jungler. You can't Baron take now if you're on the side of RA. It's
still going to be really hard. Like, if you go into the pit there as IG, you're sitting ducks for iBoy, for Fofo, a lot of that damage that can come out. So looks like IG respect it, and they will back away, look to get these waves in control, especially when you look towards bot side. That's pushing in pretty heavily for RA.
Shun is here, just clearing out some vision. And the rest of RA say, that's fine, sir. You can do what you need to do. As Fofo picks himself up a blue buff, he will pick up the Gromp and the top wave as well, you would imagine. And everyone's just kind of resetting, like you said, getting the waves in order. You still have teleports from both sides. You're not really worried about cross-map play. But the big important thing right now is, boy, no cleanse, no flash, no real escape should he get caught out.
But the bigger problem is Lian keeps getting caught out. Like, that's the second or third fight now that we've seen him getting picked off by Lucas at the start. And look, it's been a great job by Lucas to hit these solar flares, find the Zenith Blades, but Lian should not be in these positions. Cube should be the one that's looking for the setup. He should be the one leading the charge, not this squishy deer.
I like this from the Shy, though. He's actually gone with the Blade of the Ruined King to kind of basically make that side lane a little bit more in his favor. He should be able to try and take down Cube, should Cube ever go to answer.
And I mean, look, if RA are setting up properly for these fights, the Shy shouldn't have a easy backline access. It becomes really difficult because Fofo has the Relentless Pursuit, you're looking at iBoy as the Arcane Shift. Like, getting onto this double AD carry is so difficult as this Renekton. So I think he's just accepted his fate. He's like, look, I gotta be a beefcake. I gotta make sure I've got the armor, I gotta make sure that I've got some way of actually tickling Cube rather than just kind of like looking at him from afar going, I hope this hits. So honestly, it's kind of an acceptance from the Shy that, look, this is the way this game has to go, and hopefully I can get enough damage from Rookie and Wink and Shun to carry these team fights.
Speaking of damage, you're going to be doing a hell of a lot of damage. Now, as I say, that flash forward from on top of Fofo Rookie there. You can see the Shy just trying to be a nuisance, forces the flash away from Lian. They do get the Lilting Lullaby down, but there is the Realm Warp. And oh, everybody's left him! The Shy's left on his own. He will eventually get himself out, but that was definitely not the plan. Everyone is going to left him to die. Now Lian in a lot of trouble, has to get himself away, but there's the Dawning Shadow to snipe him off to the side. Now Solar Flare going to be used, forcing the flash away from Fofo. The fight is still there. Cube still very tanky, still trying to keep himself there and alive. But the poke from iBoy is significant. RA still trying to weave in, weave out, make sure they're putting in the damage without taking any themselves.
And RA are playing on a knife's edge, but they know with no Solar Flare, they are free to do this. iBoy and Fofo are too slippery, and now IG will start to move towards the Baron. TP back in from Cube. He still has Call of the Forge God, and that could spell disaster for IG.
Still have a Call of the Forge God. The Tempered Fate will be up in about 3 seconds. That's the big one I'm looking at right now. That could be the go sign for the side of RA. It's 4v5. Baron acting as the 5th man. There's the Call of the Forge God. There's the Tempered Fate. Forces the flash out from Wing. The Baron down to about 3,000 HP. We can see there, Lucas goes in. Not quite able to get anything going for him. The Shy also falls down. We can see Shun also nearly falling. The Baron is going down to the side of RA, who ace IG. They played that fight perfectly.
They played it so well, using that range advantage, the recall on the ultimates as well. And now RA, with this Baron, they can look for the end.
They can actually end the game. You've got all 5 members available. You have double AD carries. There honestly shouldn't be a world right now where anybody from IG gets up in time. And after all that, after all the pressure, the good plays from IG, they let the ball slip right at the Baron. And RA honestly will be able to take this game 1. And crazy.
And it honestly feels like the same from the regular series. We saw this exact same thing happen. IG blunder one Baron, and it swings it right back in favor of RA. And that was a beautiful, beautiful play from RA, using the range advantage that they had, having Cube teleport back in with that big team fight ultimate to wipe out IG.
You can see it's exactly what you talked about for RA in terms of their quote-unquote win conditions as a team. iBoy and Fofo. These two guys played exceptionally well. They were weaving in, out. It was a dance. It was gorgeous. It was so beautiful just to kind of watch constantly down. And they were just able to kind of go in, put a bit of poke down, back out, don't have to use anything. And by the time we got to that Baron, you could see there IG, they were kind of split. Half of them went out, half of them stayed in. The Baron goes down to about 2,000 HP, and it's like, yeah, fair enough, you don't have a jungler, but you don't need it if their jungler's dead.
Yeah, but even we looked at it, was like, what are you doing?
Yep.
You're half health, and you're trying to go for this Baron play, and you know that you're getting these resets coming in with the Ornn coming in from the teleport. So questionable play from IG, but as you said, I mean, for the majority of that game, IG were in control. And we wanted to see if they would be able to carry it through in that manner that we talked about with the skirmishes and the picks, but they just never really played around their vision in the manner that I expected them to.
From the jaws of victory. Look at that clip.
Yeah.
Look at that cliff.
The tiniest of blue.
The tiniest of like, by the way, at the end they won. It's just like, it's just one of the things, but like, look, iBoy, Fofo, just chugging out damage. Yes, Lien had a very uninspiring, game on that Lilia, but it didn't matter because the rest of his team were willing and able to keep the team alive.
Yeah, and I think that was the big one. I mean, honestly, I think there was 2 missed games from Lien and also Hung. Some of these ultimates were way wide, but certainly Fofo stepping up massively. iBoy having a phenomenal game, as you can see from the damage output, but also Cube. Like, these engagements from the Ornn were consistently hitting 2, 3, 4, if not almost 5 men in those fights, and it made these team fights so much easier. Buying space for iBoy, buying space for Fofo, and it just meant that they were able to close out these very close fights throughout this mid-game.
Yeah, honestly, I think if you're IG, you're kicking yourself right now because, one, I do not think you ever get Nidalee again. I think Lian's going to be like, look, guys, I don't care what we do. We ban that. We drop something else. We ban that. Because like you said, the Thresh was a very interesting kind of blue side ban as such from the side of RA. But for IG, the game was in the palm of your hands. You had it. Even like we mentioned it time and time again, the later the game went on, the Ryze is untouchable. The Senna just scales infinitely and becomes this ridiculous monster. Yes, it might not be the cleanest / correct way to do it, but you still have that advantage. And it felt like they jumped the gun. It felt like they kind of got ahead of themselves and said, oh yeah, we got this. And we're seeing those nerfs come in for the likes of Renekton and stuff like that. He was melted so quickly. 200 HP did not look as big as that.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing here is that, like, although we had IG with that lead, they didn't really translate it into anything, right? Because even when they tried to turn, like, and pick onto the Shy into some sort of fight, it was like, okay, no, the Shy goes down and then IG have to back away. When we looked towards, trying to very quickly pick off members, it was like, okay, they got onto Fofo, they got onto iBoy, but iBoy's pieced out over a wall. Hung was in position with some of these great magical journeys to actually get Fofo into safety. I think that was the big difference maker here, was that the carries were just too